Ethan adjusted the straps of his exploration pack and looked around the alien forest. The trees glowed faintly with colors he had never seen before. Their trunks were tall and curved, with leaves that shimmered like liquid light. The air smelled sweet, but strange, carrying a faint metallic tang that made him cautious. He had come here with his crew to investigate a mysterious energy signal. But somewhere along the way, he had been separated. The forest around him was quiet now, except for distant rustling and the faint hum of the planet's atmosphere. He checked his communicator. It was dead. No signal. Panic rose in his chest, but he forced himself to breathe slowly. "This is just like training," he muttered. "Stay calm. Find shelter. Find them." As he walked, he noticed a structure in the distance. It was old and alien, shaped like a temple but floating slightly above the ground, as if it didn't belong to gravity. Curiosity outweighed fear. Ethan approached carefully, his boots crunching on the glowing grass. Inside, the air was cool and smelled faintly of minerals. Strange symbols were etched into the walls, and faint light pulsed from cracks in the floor. It was quiet. Too quiet. Ethan's heart beat faster. Then he felt a movement in the shadows. A figure stepped forward, tall and elegant, with skin that shimmered like moonlight. Her eyes were large and deep, glowing faintly with an inner light. Ethan froze. "You are human," she said, her voice musical and strange, yet understandable. Ethan swallowed hard. "Yes, I didn't mean to intrude." The woman tilted her head, studying him carefully. She had long, flowing hair that floated slightly around her, as if underwater. Ethan noticed her fangs, small but sharp, barely visible when she smiled faintly. Then she leaned closer, sniffing the air around him. Ethan felt a chill. Her expression changed suddenly, her eyes widened, and a soft sound escaped her lips. She backed away slightly, then looked at him with amazement. "There. You are incredible," she whispered. Ethan blinked. What?" She reached out carefully, placing a hand near his arm. Her touch was cool, but gentle. "Your essence. It is unlike anything I have sensed before." Before Ethan could respond, a growl echoed from deeper in the temple. A creature, large and shadowy, leapt from the darkness. It had multiple legs, sharp claws, and glowing eyes that fixed on him immediately. Ethan stumbled backward, frozen in fear. The woman, Lyra, as she later introduced herself, moved faster than he could see. She struck the creature with incredible speed, forcing it back. Ethan's mind raced. She could have hurt him, but she didn't. She protected him instead. "Run!" she commanded in a voice that was both warning and invitation. Ethan obeyed instinctively, following her through corridors he had never imagined. Her movements were fluid, almost graceful, yet deadly when needed. As they reached a side chamber, Ethan finally caught his breath. Lyra looked at him, her eyes wide and glowing. "You are different. Humans are rare. Your blood is remarkable." Ethan's eyes widened. "Blood? You mean you want to—" "No," Lyra interrupted, shaking her head. "Not in the way you fear. It strengthens me, but it will not harm you. I am curious." He stared at her, unsure what to think. Everything he had been taught about vampire myths, none of it matched this reality. She was not attacking him. She was studying him, and fascinated. Lyra stepped closer, sniffing the air around him again. She inhaled deeply, then smiled, almost in relief. Yes. This is extraordinary." Ethan swallowed hard. "Extraordinary? What do you mean?" Lyra tilted her head. "Your species, humans, are not like others. Your essence, your life force, It excites me. It is rare. Before Ethan could respond, the sound of movement echoed again. This time, it was smaller, faster, more like a hunting pack. Lyra's expression hardened. We must move. Now. They ran together through the temple, evading the creatures. Ethan realized how fast she was, how aware of her surroundings. He tried to keep up, but she slowed at points, ensuring he could follow. After what felt like hours, they emerged into a clearing outside the temple. The sun, or what passed for a sun on this planet, was low in the sky, casting long, colorful shadows across the forest floor. Ethan collapsed to the ground, exhausted and panting. Lyra watched him carefully, her expression softening. You have courage, unlike many. Ethan looked at her, finally calming down enough to speak. Why? Why did you save me? Lyra's eyes glimmered with an emotion he could not name. Because you are incredible, human, and because I am curious about you. The forest around them began to hum softly, almost as if acknowledging their presence. Ethan looked up at her. For the first time, he felt that humans might not be weak, not even in this strange, alien world. He realized something then: he had not only survived, but he had captured the fascination of a being far older and stronger than himself. And somehow, that mattered. As night fell, Lyra guided him to a safe place to rest. Ethan lay down, staring at the glowing sky, and thought about the strange, wondrous day he had survived. Tomorrow, he knew, would bring more questions, more dangers, but also more discoveries. And deep in the forest, the ancient alien vampire watched over him. Her thoughts a mixture of curiosity, awe, and something that almost felt like joy. Ethan closed his eyes, unaware that this was only the beginning of an extraordinary journey, one that would change not just his life, but the fate of two species. Ethan awoke to a soft, greenish light filtering through the canopy of alien trees. The air smelled fresh and earthy, mixed with the faint metallic tang that had accompanied him since arriving on this strange planet. He stretched and noticed Lyra sitting a few meters away, her eyes glowing faintly as she observed him. "Good morning," he said cautiously, unsure how she would react. Lyra tilted her head, her expression unreadable. "You sleep well," she replied in the melodic alien tone. He was slowly learning to understand. Not many humans survive a night here, alone. Ethan rubbed the back of his neck. "Thanks to you." She smiled faintly. For a moment, they simply sat together, listening to the subtle sounds of the alien forest. Birds or creatures that resembled birds sang softly. And in the distance, strange plants pulsed with light as if they were breathing. Ethan marveled at it all. He had explored planets before, but nothing like this. "I still don't understand," Ethan said finally. You didn't hurt me. But you feed on others, right? You're a vampire." Lyra's expression softened. "We do not harm everyone. We survive on life energy. But humans, your blood, it is different. It strengthens me, excites me, and it does not harm you. That is unique." Ethan's eyes widened. "Excites you? I don't think I understand." She moved closer, sitting cross-legged before him. "When I sense it, your essence, it is rare, strong, full of vitality. Humans have something most species do not: courage, ingenuity, emotion. It is remarkable." Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. Nobody had ever described him that way before, not even his own team. Lyra nodded. "Yes, and you are special even among humans." The words were strange, yet somehow comforting. Ethan realized that while she was a predator in other circumstances, she now regarded him with curiosity and respect. And in that respect, he felt a spark of hope. They spent the morning exploring the nearby forest, moving cautiously. Lyra showed him which plants were safe, which creatures were dangerous, and how to read subtle signs in the environment. Ethan discovered that even though she was alien, her teaching method made sense to him. "You have a quick mind," Lyra said, watching him dodge a low-hanging vine that moved like a living thing. "Most humans would have stumbled." Ethan shrugged. "Guess I've had some practice." She laughed softly, a sound that echoed like wind through crystal. "Practice? Yes, but more than that. You think differently. That is why your blood is remarkable. Not just physical strength, but mental strength, emotion, will, determination. It is unusual." Ethan felt a flush of pride. "Thanks, I think." They traveled for hours, discovering alien streams that shimmered with strange bioluminescent currents. Lyra allowed Ethan to drink from one, and he realized her presence made him feel safer than he had felt in days. Even the forest, with all its unknown dangers, seemed less threatening. Then, as the sky turned a deep violet, they heard movement in the distance, a pack of creatures, larger than any Ethan had seen, with sharp claws and multiple glowing eyes. Lyra stiffened instantly, her body tensing. "They hunt together," she said, her voice low. "They are fast, clever, dangerous." Ethan's heart raced. "What do we do?" Lyra's eyes glimmered. "We survive. Together." They ran, dodging trees and leaping over glowing roots. Ethan struggled to keep up, but Lyra slowed for him, guiding him with gestures and occasional words of instruction. She could move faster than him easily, but she didn't leave him behind. When a creature lunged from behind a tree, Ethan froze, and it nearly caught him. Lyra reacted instantly, spinning gracefully to intercept it, sending the creature sprawling with a strike that Ethan barely saw. "You are reckless," she scolded softly. "But brave. That is why I like humans." Ethan's breath came in heavy gasps. "Like humans? You mean you don't just want to hunt me?" Lyra shook her head. "No. You are different. Your courage, your mind, your heart, it fascinates me." They continued until night fully fell, and the creatures finally lost interest, their glowing eyes vanishing into the darkness. Ethan collapsed onto the ground, exhausted. "You are strong. For a human," Lyra said, kneeling beside him. "Stronger than you know. And yet, there is more. You can survive not just with strength, but with your mind, your choices." Ethan looked at her, feeling a mixture of awe and curiosity. You really think humans are that different?" Lyra studied him for a long moment. "Yes. And you are a proof. You carry what others lack: hope, determination, and spirit." For a long time, they stayed silent, the only sound being the faint hum of the forest. Ethan thought about what she had said. He realized that despite being far from home, despite the dangers, he had never felt more alive. And perhaps, he thought, that was exactly why she found humans so extraordinary. Over the next days, Ethan and Lyra developed a rhythm. They hunted together, avoiding hostile creatures, and gathered what they needed to survive. Each time Lyra drew a small amount of his blood, never harming him, Ethan felt a strange connection to her, a bond that was more emotional than physical. "You don't fear me," Lyra said one evening, as they rested near a glowing stream. "Most humans would scream, run, or fight. But you face danger with thought, not just instinct. That impresses me." Ethan shrugged, trying to hide his pride. "Guess I don't have much choice out here." She laughed softly. "Perhaps, but it is more than that. You care. You risk yourself for others. That is rare." That night, Ethan realized that he was beginning to understand Lyra's world. It was dangerous, Yes, but also full of wonder. And in sharing it with her, he felt a bond growing stronger, a bond that went beyond fear, beyond survival. One day, while exploring a crystal cavern that pulsed with soft light, they were ambushed again. This time, the creatures were more organized, surrounding them from all sides. Ethan felt panic rise, but Lyra placed her hand on his shoulder. "Trust me," she said simply. And he did. Lyra moved with incredible speed, striking and dodging with precision. Ethan followed her instructions, creating diversions, using rocks and fallen branches to block paths. And his quick thinking saved them both multiple times. By the end of the encounter, both were bruised and tired, but alive. "You are remarkable," Lyra said afterward, examining him carefully. "Not just because of your blood, but because of your courage, your choices, your mind." Ethan smiled, a little tired, a little proud. "Thanks. I think we make a good team." Lyra's eyes glimmered. "Yes, a very good team. Perhaps the first human I have truly respected." In that moment, Ethan realized that humans could truly stand out among alien species, not just for strength or skill, but for courage, ingenuity, and compassion. Lyra's words and reactions made him understand something important. Being human was not a weakness. It could be extraordinary. As they rested under the glowing alien sky that night, Ethan felt a deep sense of connection with Lyra. He was no longer just a lost human on a strange planet. He was part of something larger, something extraordinary, and he was beginning to understand the true meaning of survival and companionship on a world far beyond Earth. Lyra, too, seemed changed. The ecstatic reaction she had at first to his blood was no longer just about sustenance. It was admiration, fascination, and perhaps something deeper. She had seen the potential in him, and it excited her more than she had expected. Together, they gazed at the alien stars, each contemplating what the future might bring. Ethan knew there would be dangers, challenges, and mysteries ahead, but for the first time, he did not feel alone. He had an ally, and perhaps even a friend, who saw the incredible value in being human. And deep in her thoughts, Lyra smiled. For the first time in centuries, she felt hope not just for herself, but for the human who had shown her a strength that no other being had ever revealed.